We begin in our nation's capital, where recently I joined Mark Wildman and was given a chance to join a select group of Georgia's young farmers as they made the annual trip to Washington, D.C. Now in its 29th year, the purpose of the trip is to allow these young men and women to visit with lawmakers and learn how farm policy is made and how to influence the outcome. The annual visit to Capitol Hill gives the state's young farmers a chance to learn more about how they can get involved with elected leaders on the federal level, the political process, and spend some time talking with members of Congress about agriculture and issues facing the ag industry. Georgia Farm Bureau President Zippy Duvall said it's a trip he looks forward to each year in hopes of inspiring the young farmers to get involved with their representatives in Washington.
We as farmers get so involved in what's going on our farms each and every day, especially young people when they have families and church and ball games. And for them to put something else on their list, it has to be a pretty high priority to them. And there's no other thing outside of family and our faith is our business. And you have to get outside to be able to affect how policy is being made that deals with your business each and every day.
Matthew London, the state young farmers chair from White County, said while getting to know the other participants on the trip, it's also a chance to discuss some serious challenges that faces Georgia farmers.
I think they really can. I think today in our meetings today, our group was very well received by our senators, and I think they look very forward to our meeting with them annually to hear our voices and our concerns from back home, so that whenever they have decisions that they face in the upcoming months and weeks and years ahead, they can look back to this meeting and say, hey, that young farmer from Georgia had a voice that we needed to hear.
The group of nearly 40 young farmers visited with several congressmen from the Georgia delegation and their staff members. Participants heard from Georgia senior Senator Saxby Chambliss. Chambliss shared some concerns as he plans to retire at the end of this year.
Seeing folks like y'all gives me a good feeling about the future of agriculture, particularly in our state. So I'm always glad to see this group come up, and glad you've got interest in either going to the farm or going back to the farm. We've just completed my 4th farm bill. It's been a 3-year process to complete that farm bill. That tells you the difficulty that we have up here now in crafting farm bills, particularly when you think about the fact that everybody in America, because of the publicity that's given to farm bills, thinks that 100% of the funding of a farm bill is in the form of subsidies that goes to farmers, and that farmers just routinely go to the FSA office and pick up a check. Now, we all know different. We know that 85% of the funding in a farm bill goes to food stamps. Another in excess of 10% goes to conservation and to research, and only about 4.5% goes to fund commodities programs.
While in Washington, this year's group focused on the issues of immigration reform, GMO labeling, and EPA regulations pertaining to the Clean Water Act. Our thanks to all the congressmen, as well as Senators Chambliss and Isaacson, for taking time and meeting with the young farmers this year.